key to momentum is the right people. Now, it takes action to ensure that you've got momentum, and it takes continuous and constant action. And you as a leader can't always be the source of that action. You need action-oriented people. In fact, in the early stages of a startup, small business, or a growing venture, I really focus on surrounding myself or the people that we're with people that are willing to ask for forgiveness rather than beg for approval. More times than not, the small mistakes or the mistakes that are made by moving ahead too quickly are easily compensated by the fact that things are getting done, and they compensate for that fact. Be sure to get action-oriented people. Be sure to get people that are willing to ask for forgiveness rather than beg for approval. Be sure to get people that will create momentum. Narrative drives everything. There's the age-old battle of what's more important, the numbers or the narrative. But I think the context is wrong. The context should be, how do the numbers fit in the narrative? Because when you look at a narrative that is commanding a huge valuation, it's not just the narrative alone. It's the narrative with the numbers in context. And so never is it a situation where it's just a pure spec company that has no numbers backing it up that can have a sustainable valuation that's higher. However, when you look at a compelling narrative that is going to fit a growth potential for the future, and it has corresponding numbers that can support what that growth potential is, that's why you'll get the bigger valuation. However, if you have fantastic numbers, but you don't have a narrative that matches up to it, no matter how good those numbers are, you will not command the valuation. So remember, narrative drives everything, and it's not numbers versus narratives, it's how numbers fit in the narrative. Many of the cutting edge technologies that we enjoy today have actually been around for 30 and 40 years. But we now are only adopting them because the internet moved them into this area of slow convenience, where we adopted them as it kind of made sense or it became easy for us. What this pandemic has done is put us in a situation where we're now forced to adopt a rapid and vast amount of digital technologies. Take, for example, our 80-year-old parents or grandparents who literally last year would be forced to go outside to a doctor's office for a routine appointment to get a prescription unheard of today. It wouldn't happen. It's all done by telemedicine, and the prescriptions are delivered or the people show up to do the physiotherapy. It's changed. It's changed in 6 to 8 months. That shift that took 15 to 20 years before that to get to this point. And the reason is it's out of necessity. And so this pandemic will drive deeper and longer lasting digital transformation than the internet itself.